I guess that's kind of good news, bad news. No motor, transmission gone.
Yeah. It will run, it just won't go. Bill Elliott, you see how much the suspension travels on these 3,200-pound race cars. Ward Burton up there in the pavement, and here comes Robert Presley making the move on Hermie Sadler. You know, he told me this morning, he said, and he's got a little smoke there. Uh-oh, now that's a bad look.
Oh, me, they said he'd just really been making a big move to the front. He just started moving. Here he's pulling over the inside.
Yep.
Yeah, whatever it was, I think he just had the big problem right there. He knows it. He's in trouble.
He said this morning, he said he never really liked Darlington. Then he got to run real well there, and now he loves the place. Of course, he's won there. And he said, I'm getting to like road racing. He says, but it's just not coming as quickly as I'd like. But I'm getting to like it.
Now, there's Presley. He's trying to stay out of the way as much as he possibly can, right over on the side of the racetrack. But still, he's got to cross the line every now and then on the track. But trying his best to stay out of the way. He's left his fast cars back.
That's a shame. A lot of attrition. They really twist these V6s here. Expect a lot out of them, especially as many times as you shift per lap.
Well, they expect a lot of them. They're getting a lot out of them. Rods, pistons, valves.
You know, a lot of these things will break when these guys break and downshift on the corner. You know, sometimes there's a rev limiter in that thing that keeps it from over-revving, but if you stick it in the next lower gear and let the clutch out, it's going to over-rev and break something.
Fifth place at stake here, Brett Bodine and Terry Labonte. And you see Todd Bodine has passed Ward Burton.
Well, he is on the move now. I'm not kidding. He's come from way in the back. We've watched him being real aggressive with those passes going in the inner loop. He keeps passing. It's a favorite place of his, I guess. He just moves right on the inside and gets everybody.
Up to third place. Finished second here last year.
There's Roy Payne. They were going by the blue and white car. Must be having a problem. He's way out of speed.
He's a rookie, and it's his first trip here to Watkins Glen. We'll be back with more of the Phase 150 live on the Nashville Network after this. Bill Elliott out in front of the field here, and Joe Nemechek is keeping it a close race. Back at third spot, Todd Bodine started 18th, and he has flown through the field up to third place. The C.C. Welliver team finished second here last year, and he's gained 15 positions. Ward Burton, though, staying right with him in the Hardee's Buick. In fourth place, back at fifth, it'll be Brett Bodine, the yellow car, and Terry Labonte in sixth. Long way back to the seventh place car. So let's ride on board with Brett Bodine. Turn one.
Boy, here's where you come up into these S's. This is packing it in there tight going through this section of the track.
You know, the camera doesn't show the elevation change. You're headed straight downhill now. You're going right up that hill. And it's going to turn right here in a second. That's where you get flat up on top of that straightaway.
And I think the other part that's interesting is talking about the flat out. Hold it on the floor. Never lift through that area. You just almost say the car won't make it, but it will.
The trouble with this inner loop is it's hard to pick up where that point is where you turn in because you're still kind of climbing there. All of a sudden, you're there. You're on it.
You know, we talked earlier, there was those markers there, 500 foot, 400 foot, 300, and you really have to relate to that to be able to see where to get in that corner.
Keeps it real low here through 5. Now you're just starting downhill just a little bit. And the track flattens out.
Actually, quite a lot downhill right there. And you're going across a bridge right here. The car wants to get a little loose right where that tree is. Coming across the bridge is a fast left-hander coming up. You see a lot of guys get in trouble here, even though it is left-handed only one.
Not very much banking to deal with, and they usually run off that area. I think that mud's got their attention today.
You watch right here. This is the turn coming on the straight. Boom, there's a big bump right there. You saw the car hit it. That gets the car sliding, and that's why they slide up on that curb. They use that white curb to stop the slide. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, and this car we're in is one using that curb more than anyone. He's really using all the surface up.
And Terry Labonte has come to the pit lane at only 28 laps. They're going to put left side tires on Labonte's car and fuel. Not sure if this would be a scheduled stop. 28 of 62 laps completed.
Everybody watches all the oval track racing. Well, they're going with 4 tires here. Those outside tires take the most abuse. Going 4 tires while they got him in.
Seems a little early, doesn't it, Neil?
I would think it's a little bit early. But, you know, this morning in practice, we had about 4 or 5 of the guys go out and run their car out of gas on purpose to see how much they could pick up and how far they could go.
So Labonte back on track after a green flag pit stop. Bobby Dragon who won here last month, comes limping past one of the Busch North competitors and former champion of that series. Tom Peck down to the inside there, the black and green SK Tools car, and Hermie Sadler moving along right behind him. Now let's pick up Steve Grissom. He's racing with Bobby Dotter and David Donahue, whose father had a lot of success here at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, when you hear that name, you think road racing.
Mark Donahue.
What a racer. You know, all season long we see Grissom qualify in the back, and he usually comes right to the front. He hasn't been able to do that today. He's been struggling just a little bit.
Turn 10. Car transitions there just a bit. He all the way, got to cross all the way back over to line up for turn 11 here. Bobby Dotter, he's really slinging that car around Chicago style, isn't he?
Yeah, there he goes. He's going to try it down the inside of Donahue.
That might be why he pinched that corner off so much. He was trying to think, I'm going to go inside this lap, and it's going to work easily for the pass.
Locks it up.
Smoking those tires.
Yep. Comes down the hill to turn 2.
If you can get around them there, they're not going to pass you till you get on the back straightaway. There's not any room in the S's for anyone, like you said, unless they cooperate with you and let you try. But you can pretty well hold them up through that section of the track.
Well, it looked like Grissom got the run going up the hill, though. It looked like he had a little bit more going up there. Usually, if he didn't have to lift, I think he did have to lift, but usually if you don't have to lift, you can get him going in the chicane up. And we see one going straight.
Hermie Sadler. Yeah.
Missed the chicane.
Maybe they didn't see.
Yeah. And Richard Lassiter is off at the chicane on the left side of the screen there. The car up against the wall was David Green's. He stopped there earlier.
Mike, while we wait, they made the note that if you go through the chicane and don't improve position, there's no penalty. If you improve your position, they will. So I guess if you go through there and you lift, they're not going to penalize them.
I bet if you did that more than once, they'd want to have a word with you.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to make it a regular route.
No. Bill Elliott now having opened up his lead on Joe Nemechek considerably, moving up on Curtis Markham, who made a pit stop earlier. Markham from Virginia came off the NASCAR late model sportsman circuit to go up and drive for Quinn Bovair on the Busch North Series.
Let me tell you, people question a lot of times. They say, why will a Bill Elliott or a Earnhardt or some of these guys come in and run a Busch race? Let me tell you, Bill Elliott has not had the type of season he's wanted all year long. They haven't been able to run the Busch Cup. A win right here would be a big shot in the arm for Bill Elliott. I guarantee he doesn't care what this thing pays. He'd like to win a race.
You bet. And there's Richard Lassiter again, this time to the tire wall. New colors for the High Point betting car, black and gold, but yeah, you see how slippery it is. That's turn 1.
I'd get turned left a little more before I go back out on turn 1.
Yep, bounce over the cow patties there. Back onto the surface. I guess that grass really isn't quite as slick. We feared anybody whose car came to rest would stay at rest, but he was able to get back onto the racetrack.
Well, that's a little bit downhill where he was stuck. He had it headed downhill a little bit also, but boy, thank goodness they've got so much runoff here in turn 1. He slid a long way, still didn't get in the wall.
I'm not going to say anything. I've been down there before.
Yeah, and you didn't stop before you got to the wall.
Yeah, me too.
I come about 6 foot shorter than he did.
The car did or you did?
No, the car did.
Oh, good.
It looked so easy getting down in turn 1, so I think I'll go 5 foot deeper.
Yep.
And then you went 150 foot deeper before it stopped directly.
Yeah, trouble is there's only 4 feet out the other side of that corner. Bill Elliott continues to lead with 31 laps complete. We are halfway in the Phase 150 at Watkins Glen. We'll be right back.